tools that's available to us is Flipgrid. It's a great way for students to be able to respond to a prompt, and you can interact with your students through quick video messaging. So the best way for you to set up a Flipgrid is to go into your Canvas account. And one of the places on the dashboard I think you should visit is our digital tools portal. That has all the digital tools that are available to us through the district. And there's a section here called the Creator Suite. And I'm going through to see some of our tools. And here's Flipgrid over down in the corner. So once I'm in Flipgrid, this is going to be the space that talks about your own grids. And you may need to log in with your Google account to get your information. I'm already logged in. But if you want to add a new grid, you're going to use this pink red little tab here. And now what you'll want to do is name your grid. So if it's going to be for a particular class, you could have it for maybe your ELA period 1. You could have one for all of your groups. It's up to you. And then students should join with their school Microsoft or Google account. And you can click Next. And we found out that in order for students to be able to respond, it's actually not at everettsd.org. It's their student number, and it will end in at apps.everettsd.org. And that'll allow your students to log on. Okay, so this is going to be my grid code that I can give to students, but that'll be available for me later. Right now, I want to go to my grid and get it all set up. There are 2 places where I can make edits. This is my overall grid for ELA period 1. This is where ELA period 1 students are going to land. And then it's up to me to decide how many topics I want them to respond to. So the first place where I can make edits is to the overall grid. So I'm going to click on the pencil. And if I wanted to change the name here, I can. We've already set up the grid type that they join with their school email. And now is where I want to think about features. Do I want daily email notifications that let me know when a new video has been submitted or not? That's one of the main ones. And then here's where I can personalize the way the grid looks by importing my own visual, or I can choose from the pre-selected ones they have. Make sure to click on Update Grid on the bottom right. All right, so that's the main grid. And now it's time for me to add topics. So the first one is already here, ready for me to go. And I'm going to go to the pencil again to edit. And there's some important places in here that we need to attend to make sure the grid is set up the way we want. So first of all, what's the topic going to be? It could be that your students, you want them to start by doing a greeting. I'm going to say share a favorite book. Okay. You can decide on how long you want the recording to be so that it limits them. And then here's where you would decide on what type of a prompt you want. Let them know what exactly you'd like to include in their Flipgrid. So maybe discuss a book and let them know the parts that you want to add. Okay. And then down here, this is really cool. You can give them a focus, and this is what they'll first see when they see the topic. So instead of it just waving, I can choose a different option. I'm going to delete that. And if I want, I can record a greeting, and this greeting could tell them the prompt. I could upload another video. I can simply upload an image to get the prompt going. Just for the sake of time, I'm just going to add an emoji. And that's the first thing that they'll see. Again, make sure that you click on Update Topic in the bottom right to ensure that the grid is set up the way we want it. So I'm going to go back to the pencil, and I'm going to go down a little further. Here's where you can add tips for additional content that you would like them to include in the grid. You also can include an attachment. So maybe here is where you actually include a link to an assignment or a Google Doc, something that you want them to complete. And as far as the topic status, this one's pretty important. I like to moderate the video. So I'm going to turn this on. This means that I have to check the video before it's going to be posted. So it doesn't show up live immediately for the student until you moderate. You want to decide if you want to do student-to-student replies. I'm going to turn it off. But if you'd like to have a teachable moment with students about digital citizenship, Perhaps somewhere in your attachment or in your directions, you can talk about what is okay when you reply to another student. I also like to think about the view count. I don't like students to see how many times theirs have been viewed. I think it creates some other issues and maybe a popularity contest. And then the other thing is whether or not you like students to like each other's videos. And again, I'm going to turn that off because that's not what this is about. There is a place where you can give feedback to students after they've posted a video, and this sets up that section. I want to make sure that I go on the bottom and update my topic. I want to share with students. So I'm going to click on the share button, and this allows me to get a link that I can simply copy. And once I've copied it, I can add this into Google Classroom or on my website, and students can access the grid. In order to check in on how my students are doing, I am going to go back to my educator login, look at my grids. I can see that it is posted here. And if I click on the grid, I can see if there have been any responses. This is also the place where I want to make responses active. When a student responds, it'll be red, it'll say hidden, and then you'll have to activate it to say active if you want it to be viewable by other students.